make these more personal type of videos recently. Kind of because I'm in my feelings, kind of because, I don't know, I feel like I've lived long enough in this position to give an outlook on it that's not BS. Like, it's not me just speaking for the sake of speaking. My personal experiences have given me the ability to speak about this. Being an only child is in my opinion, probably the worst thing that has happened to me at the moment. I'm currently 26 years of age. The reason I say my age is because, like I said, I've lived long enough to, explain the problems and the things that have the things that have, how do I say, right, anyway, I'll just talk about it. Being an only child sucks, and one of the main reasons it sucks is because you're lonely all the time. And as much as people may, I understand people may try and argue back or counterpoint me by saying, even if you're an only child, you can have friends, you can whatever. So having friends is great and all, but how many people can you say really understand what you're going through, really understand how you feel, and have been there for you long enough? And the hardest thing that I have to deal with every day is knowing that when I come home, there's nobody there. Like, my mother and father are there, but usually in brown or traditional ethnic Asian relationships with, mother-daughter, father-son, etc., usually with parents and children in Asian households, there isn't this crazy, best friend relationship with your parents. Asian parents love you, but they don't like you, like friends. They love you, they take care of you, but they want to see you grow, they want to see you win and strive, and they are more life and business orientated as opposed to trying to be your best friend, understand how you feel, really take time to get your emotions. That those are not the sort of parents that Asian parents usually are. That's not to say that it's a bad thing, it's just that every parent and every type of household has their own dynamic, and that's fair enough. But again, I'm talking about being an only child, and me being an only child, having those siblings, and having parents who behave like that. That's one of the reasons for why it sucks to be an only child, because there is no one really in your life to talk about how you feel to. Some people, again, may say friends or girlfriend or boyfriend, but they don't know what your life is like at home. They don't know what your life's been like at school most of the time. They don't really know the deeper rooted scenarios and issues in your life. And before I continue, being an only child, I'm just gonna play with this comb. Being an only child does not justify any sort of, or warrant any sort of laziness or self-pity, etc. Like, this isn't about me feeling sorry for myself and using and weaponizing my life as an only child to be lazy or complacent. It's not about that. it's about the deeper things that damage only children, the things that they don't have that would be really beneficial that other people do. And everybody's problems are different. And this may be, such a first world issue, but it's an issue nonetheless, and that people face every day, and mental health is a big and growing thing in this day and age. And personally for me, I started making ASMR for mental health. I started making ASMR because people told me that I helped them. And as an only child, no one's ever told me that I've been helpful. No one's ever looked at me like I've been smart enough or I've been good enough to do what I do, or just by being me, I've made someone else feel better. And hearing that in the ASMR community, everyone who leaves a comment on my videos, to hear that, that's, no one else tells me that. I don't have a brother or sister. And the deeper thing is, I don't have a brother or sister an older sibling who would mentor me or take care of me, or you learn from your elders. You're impressionable. Whatever your older siblings do, you want to imitate or emulate, and you want to try and be like them. I had cousins who were older than me, and I tried to emulate the way they dress, the way they look. I used to look up to them like, wow, these guys are so cool. They get all the girls. They do everything. They're just cool, and I want to be like that. I never had an older brother to tell me right from wrong, or an older sister to tell me right from wrong. They didn't regulate me, so it takes me longer to know what's right from wrong, to almost mature. It took me longer to mature, because no one was there to tell me stop when I should have stopped. And that's one of the reasons for why I feel like I'm more emotional, because I never had a filter when I was younger, i.e. being my older sibling, because Asian parents don't really do the emotional shit. And I know for a fact, no matter where you're from, an older sibling will always be your pillow, your comfort almost. And I didn't have a younger sibling, someone who I would look at and think, I have to take care of them. I have to grow up and be strong for them. Again, in respect, making me maturer from a younger age, making me regulate myself, making me know what I need to do and what I don't need to do. There was no guidance. There was no light at the end of the tunnel, being an only child. And it sucks, man. Every fibre of my body right now is stopping me from being sad or crying, but ever since I started school, I have felt so lonely, and no amount of part-time friendship could ever make me feel any better. I just wish I had siblings. And I don't blame my parents, because I grew up in a very poor family who did not have electricity, who did not have important things. I was born here, but we were too poor, so I couldn't stay in this country. Then we had to save money up for years so me and my mother could come back. And then we only started building our life from there. But even when I first settled down in this country, after flying back here, no furniture, no nothing, just walls. This room was empty, and windows. Nothing. I grew up poor, still relatively poor in a way, but grew up poor, and I had nothing. even back then, I just wish I had siblings, you know? That would be something to do. Every time I just see people going outside, kids playing in the park, they're always with their family, a big group of people. They always had someone. Even my cousins, when we used to hang out together, all the families would come together, it would be, all my cousins would have their siblings. They'd always be together. Every time we as kids played games, I was segregated. They would all be in their pairs with their siblings, they would always have their little clique, and it pissed me off because, one, I didn't realise when I was younger that I'm left out and they deliberately leave me out of things. But I was so fixated on the fact that I just wanted to be noticed by them because I had no one. I had no one that accepted me, and every night I think about these same thoughts, and today's the day I just thought, fuck it, I am going to talk about it. It would be nice to be an uncle to some nephews and nieces. It would be nice to have a brother-in-law or sister-in-law one day. I wish I could have. It would have been nice to have a big family so that I know not all the pressure's on me to be the one to hold on to my legacy, to make my mum and dad proud. And I haven't made them proud. And I'm fighting, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I just wish, even for like now and then, I wish there was a sibling who would be in the limelight so I didn't have to feel the pressure of upholding all these values. And I wish someone would be there for me sometimes so I didn't have to always be there for myself. Because as much as people want to say, be strong and, be a man, blah blah, whatever rubbish, all those people that say, be a man, they are suffering in the inside. Their inner child, their inner man is screaming out saying, I just need some weight off my shoulders for even an hour. I'm not asking for someone to carry me through life. I'm asking for someone to just respect me and be there with me, and I'm asking for that. I might be going off track here, but having no siblings, even to this day, when my family, my mum and dad, I'm so happy that they're still strong in their marriage and relationship. Even when they go out to visit other people, they go out on little dates to the cinema and I'm home alone, or they go on holidays to visit family and I have to stay here because I don't have a job sometimes and I can't afford it. When I'm home alone, I keep the lights on in the house to make me feel like the house is occupied, so it doesn't feel empty. I don't know how some people can say that they don't want siblings. I don't get it. Like, fair enough, I've seen all the videos. I know about all my acquaintances or friends that I've made talk about their siblings. I get your brother and sister can be annoying. I get you can hate them or find them irritating. But without your siblings, you wouldn't be strong. You wouldn't be so strong. You wouldn't be so resilient. You wouldn't be so passionate. Everyone who has had siblings has never said to me that they want to be an only child. And that may be me being naive, but deep down, nobody hates their siblings like that. Because How can you? I don't get it. It's so lonely being an only child, and people want to scream and shout, and like people tell me, "Oh, do you not enjoy it? You know, you get everything to yourself. You're spoiled. You don't have to share. You don't have to X, Y, and Z." And I'm just like, I'm not even spoiled. I'm poor. I was born and raised poor. There was no time to be spoiled. Right? I didn't have the privilege, and I hate the stigma that apparently every only child is selfish, and they only care about themselves, and they're narcissistic, and they're not selfless. I don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. People already have a bad image of me for being an only child, when all I've ever wanted was more people in my life so I could actually enjoy my experiences with them. You know? I want to have an older brother who would make me stronger. I want to have a younger sibling who I could take care of, who I could spend my money on from my job and buy them toys or buy them food. That's what I wanted. And I don't think that's selfish. I don't think it's selfish. I feel like I'm slouching. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. I feel like I've kind of got everything I could possibly say about being an only child off my chest for a bit. The next video is going to be more ASMR orientated. This is still technically ASMR, but I hope somebody understands what I'm saying, and I hope if there's anyone that can relate, I hope it's given you some sort of comfort knowing that you're not alone with feeling like this. And we live in such a confusing world with confusing emotions. No one's ever really going to be 100% understood, but everyone's going to have similarities, and I'm just hoping that my feelings are similar to yours if you're watching, and that makes you feel better. But yeah, thank you everybody, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.